everyone, welcome to LexTalk, World Talk Show presented by ClickAway Creators. Today we have Mr. Gopalakrishnan with us again. So this time, I don't think that I should be introducing him for like a longer time. We have a lot of different questions to ask him, and as promised, I was really looking forward to another chat with him and talk about other trending topics in the legal space. But just to give you a brief, he's a dynamic and result-oriented legal professional with over 4 decades of experience in legal areas encompassing banking, corporate, capital market, business laws, cross-border transactions and procedures, including HR issues and employee grievance redressal, litigation, and I can go on and on. He has the in-depth understanding of matters related to corporate law, banking, finance documentation, and again, as I said, so on and so forth. We have added a couple of there is something that we would really like to talk about him because now he has his own law firm, and I really want him to throw light on that first. So hello, Mr. Gopalakrishnan, how are you and how it has been?
You're all fine, and I think the bad days are over. In the pandemic, bad days are over, and we are looking for the sunshine. And anyway, we feel that things are looking up, and because 2020 was a very bad year, let me tell you,
Yes.
because that will be remembered as long as the human race is there or the human history is there. But 2021 proved to be a little better, and now as we are ending, we are reaching the fag end of 2021. We feel much more what do you call? We are feeling much more happy, and we are feeling courageous, and we have now the ability to say that okay, the past is over, and therefore like that in my life also something change has happened, because till 2020 uh, till 2021 June I was a partner of a law firm, and 2020 was a washout, and we were all working from home, and subsequent to that that was a time which gave me a lot of time to introspect and say that what is it that I want to do. And therefore I mean absolutely something which all of us were thrown out of gear. And then 2021 when it opened up, and from June onwards I started a boutique law firm called BGK Law Associates, and where it's a kind of chamber where my colleagues who were with me in the earlier law firms, many of them joined me, and we are working on a different basis altogether. It's not like boss or a intern or anything of that sort, but we are like-minded people who have come up together, and then we are taking certain issues, and we are enjoying the work, and that's it. So I feel much more relieved. And so we are into documentation, we are into litigation, we are into advisory role, and that makes me more happy. And you have the time to do whatever is passionate to you. So that is the main thing which happened in 2021. And I'm also mentoring my colleagues who are coming, who have come with me, because it's a kind of mentoring, and I'm giving back to the society to say that whatever I have learned or I knew, I should pass it on. That is what I'm happening. And it is a boutique law firm. We are not in the rat race, and we are not going to say that everything should come to us. And so, but luckily, by the grace of God, we are faring very well.
Congratulations, like hardest congratulations for the new journey that you're starting that you've started this year. And like at the same time, last time we talked about the most memorable case. This time we have kind of changed the question. I've kind of changed the question, and we'll be talking about the complex issue, like the most complex issue that you have worked on. And if you would like to describe the complexity of it and how did you approach it, I would really love to know that.
Yeah, complexity of cases means in a lot of cases I have been involved in it, and this time I will be giving a case which I hope last year that was not the case, which I have said about the complex case or complexity of the case. This is about international arbitration. where I was my career graph goes, so I was an advocate, and then I joined Government of India institution called Unit Trust of India, which was a statutory corporation, which was a mutual fund and a term lending institution much before SEBI came into play and all those things. And that was the monopoly institution in India. And thereafter that institution started a bank. I found that I was called to set up the law department in that bank, and I just merrily went. And even though it was set up by a public sector institution, it was called a private sector bank. Okay. So what happened is, so the banking experience in me was very much there, and that was a era where I learned the banking as such. So I was a banker, and I was heading the law department. Means I set up the law department, and we grew with a bank called UTI Bank, now named as rechristened as Axis Bank. So when in that bank, complexities of commercial transactions came into the picture, and the bank had given certain finance to an Indian company who has set up an offshore entity, and that offshore entity was granted a contract for setting up an airport in a small country, and they were doing that, and it was and the country that offshore entity was financed by the bank's offshore branch, and in turn the country where the airport was set up is going to be set up. They furnished a guarantee to the bank's offshore entity. So prima facie everything looked fine, and the construction was going on. But as usual in such countries, there is a regime change, and a new regime came. And it is not like India where it is a democracy, where even if the new regime comes, it is elected democracy. But the new regime, when they came, they said that this contract was awarded to that particular contractor due to some bad influence with the earlier regime, and therefore they cancelled the contract. And they said that surrender back your my land and all the constructed thing. So that was a shock, because it's not like that there is a Supreme Court where you can go and get a stay or anything of that sort, because I don't want to name that country, and that is the reason. So there was a contract, there was a arbitration clause in the contract, which says that a neutral country, namely Singapore, will be the arbitrating country, and the Singapore arbitration should be conducted under the Singapore International Arbitration Center's rules and regulations. So the remedy was to approach the arbitration center, but instead what the contractor did was that since the laws of Singapore will be applicable, they went and filed a petition in the Singapore High Court, and asking for a stay, preventing the country who has granted the contract from taking away their land and stopping the work. So for the first time, that was allowed by the Singapore High Court. So that was a temporary stay which was granted pending the filing of other parties' claims and other parties' say in that country say in that. So they came and informed the bank as a financier in India, because the parent bank is in India, and said that you should also go and file a petition in the High Court to support us, and therefore that will have an impact on the continuing with the contract. Otherwise, your money will be at stake. But after that, when the matter came to me as the legal head, I said that we have no right to go and file any petition at any this thing, because we are not involved in the dispute between them. We are just a financier, and we have been given a guarantee by the country which has awarded the contract. But this created a little bit of unrest between me and the business department and the management of that particular contractor. And that was a little very, very bad time. And everybody said, and they even sent word to the MD of my bank saying that the legal department man, he is not cooperating with us, and all kinds of things is there. But ultimately, what happens is that when the Singapore High Court granted a stay, the other country, the country which was affected by it, wanted to file an appeal in the Supreme Court of Singapore. They filed an appeal in the Supreme Court. And normally it takes 4 months to hear the appeal. That's what I was told. And at that point of time, the Supreme Court Chief Justice, he saw through the entire thing, and he said that this is not a good order, and therefore immediately he took up the appeal and said that my jurisdictional courts cannot grant a stay which prevents a sovereign country from taking over their land. If that be the case, nobody will come to Singapore, and that law, even if I give a stay, that may not be, complied with by the other party also, because it is in their own country. What is the remedy? So they said that since there is an arbitration in this, arbitration is the only remedy, and they cancel the stay, and parties were asked to arbitrate. So that arbitration was done by the Singapore International Arbitration Center, and wherein we also joined, and the bank also joined as a party, because the bank's money is involved in it, and that was it. So ultimately, to cut short the entire question, is that this is what was apparently, this is a very complex situation where the management of the local bank in India, who financed through the offshore branch, thought that the view of the legal department was not correct. He should help the client, and immediately we should get that. But that was upheld. That view was upheld, and my view was vindicated by the Supreme Court, which said that a sovereign country cannot be asked to stop the land which they have awarded to somebody to construct a airport to be taken back. So that was the complex. It was apparently it is a very, very complex case, and therefore ultimately the award was came, and it came after 2-3 years only, but that was it. So the complexity of this case was very high, and therefore this is one of the case, and therefore in a banking system also frauds do happen. So many of the cases frauds happen, and when it comes to me, that is where I went into the HR aspects of this thing. So the human psychology, the background has to be looked in. What is the reason why somebody is doing a fraud? Banking system has a lot of frauds now. It is cyber frauds, and otherwise it is fraud. Because there are many such cases, and I can go on and go on, but for various reasons I don't want to. Tom that end. But this was something which I felt very, very, very satisfied when the Singapore Supreme Court decided and held that arbitration is the remedy, and not to approach my court and ask the other sovereign country not to take their land. So that is what I want to say about that.
Thank you so much for throwing light on this, Mr. Gopalakrishnan. Quite complex. Obviously, I mean, I was completely into it when you were explaining, so I can get the idea. Now, moving on, we are in this era of legal technology, and never in our dreams we thought that the legal space can incorporate something like virtual hearings. I don't think that that even was an idea which came into anybody's mind, but thanks to pandemic it happened. So obviously it has come with its own pros and cons, and my question to you is that, do you think that is this like a sustainable and a possible way to increase access to justice?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question, because the fact is that, as you rightly pointed out, in my entire life, never in my dreams, I never thought that I will be addressing any court or a tribunal virtually. Okay. It's not that something which was never available, but it was ruled out for this thing. So we all have to, Indian courts, if you go to a court, it's like, stocks of paper lying there, and, people roaming around, and, all kinds of issues are there. There is no seat to sit also, because you have to stand, somebody will, of course, you sit in that chair, and, all kinds of things are there. But as you rightly said, what happens is necessity is the mother of all invention. So overnight, I never thought that, our Indian courts or judicial system will convert into or transform itself into a virtual hearing. So today, I enjoy the virtual hearing because two or three plus points are there. Because I am sitting here in the morning, I can address a court in uh, Madras, and I address a court in Delhi, and I can address a court in Mumbai, and also I can address any court anywhere in India without even changing my seat. So that was something which I felt is necessary, because it makes the clients and the advocates to have easy, or some kind of a easy access to justice system. Otherwise, if I was to go to Chennai to address a court, that means 2 or 3 days of mine is gone, and I cannot take any other work on that day. And therefore, I have to come back and then address the courts in India. So that is what the Supreme Court has just now only started the physical hearing and the virtual hearing. It is a combination of both. And for Supreme Court has the longest time continuing with the virtual hearing. So the pros and cons of virtual hearing is that there is a section of people who feel, of advocates who feel, that the virtual hearing has been disadvantageous to a certain section of advocates. I'm not sure of it, because I belong to the older generation, but still, when I was studying, there was no mobile phone, or there was no access to internet, or there was nothing called internet, and therefore nothing was there on the laptop or computer system or anything like that. But still, I was able to adopt into this system, and I'm quite enjoying it. And I don't think that the youngsters here are unable to connect with it. In fact, I thought they will be the happiest person, because they will be much more tech savvy, because they're born with all these gadgets, and they see it. Because in my house, a 9-year-old and 8-year-old, they know much more about operating a laptop than me. And because obviously, I mean, I'm the older generation, but that is something which is there. But still, they feel that certain section of the advocates are not able to earn something of that. That is because of mindset is there. And I'm not saying that they are unable to do it, because in India, the internet access to the corners, nooks and corners of India is not very bright, or very, very distinct. It's not so accessible. So in some places, I've seen students now, online classes are there. Some students are going to some part of a hill, and turning their mobile to see, to get the connection. That is what some news, or some WhatsApp comes like that.
Very true.
How far it is true, I do not know. But then internet connection is very bad in India, because though we are also sitting here suddenly today. Let me tell you, today also I had a couple of hearings with the NCLT in Mumbai, but the entire NCLT Mumbai today hearings were adjourned, because internet access was not there, and therefore we were sitting, and then we got a message saying that due to internet problems, today all cases, 5 benches cases were adjourned. So very recently, about 3 days back, also the Chief Justice said that we have to invest more into infrastructure. When the Chief Justice say about infrastructure, I mean to say that infrastructure is not brick and mortar, but infrastructure of the internet, and a digital infrastructure has also to be involved. And today, I mean, we can file something through e-filing is possible. Earlier, it was never there. Stacks and stacks of paper has to be taken to there, and still it has not come out of it. Still, e-filing is there. But in some cases, the judges also says that yes, you may have e-file, but we don't have the hard copy, so we are unable to do that. So to sustainability is concerned, your question is concerned. I feel it is sustainable, but provided the stakeholders are really, really, serious in continuing with this system. So today, there is a mental block with even very, very well-known senior advocates. Also, there is a feeling that physical hearing is always better than an internet or a hearing or virtual hearing. So that mental setup, mental block has to be completely changed. And it is high time that Indian courts have become, at least if not for the virtual hearing at all point of time, to go into a digital mode. If India can completely change into a digital transaction, now everybody I mean, all of us does digital now. I mean, we don't go to the bank, and we do everything sitting at home, and I transfer money, everything. Everybody, not even my mobile
Absolutely.
phone or laptop. So why not? We have to change a lot of change, but albeit you have to invest a lot in infrastructure and digital infrastructure.
That's
Technology has to be there, and when you and technology has to be a part of your curriculum, and as also to be the judges and the staff members there has to be trained in that. And I think, in
right.
my personal opinion, the the multi system should continue. So those who want to go to physical can go, and otherwise those who do not want, and a virtual hearing has to be there. Yes, that has to be
Right.
continued. It should not be stopped and saying now only virtual hearing, no physical hearing, or only physical hearing and no virtual hearing. That should not happen, and the option should be kept open, because now we have come to a level and we have experienced, we have tasted, and therefore why should you suddenly stop that? Continue with that, but the option has to be given. That's my view.
Okay. All right. Great. So as we are talking about the virtual hearings and the era of legal technology, what are the mostly common used tools for you?
So, come again, please.
What are the most commonly used tools for you? As in, like, what are the platforms that you're using? Any CRM that you're using? Because now everything is just on, it's actually happening virtually, digitally. So, is there anything that you would like to throw light on?
No, I think the common ease of research is there. Research is at the fingertips, and you have all kinds of. You don't have to browse through big books to see which page the case is there, and by the click of a button you have it. And I feel that there is an increased transparency when you are having a virtual hearing. Then higher convenience is there, and online file storage is a very, very good thing as far as I'm concerned, because earlier it was said that the success of an advocate depends on them how many briefs he has in a stable, or the number of books he has in. But now a virtual, I can all condense it in a hard drive and then keep it, and still I can be successful, because I've seen now some, or at least one or two people are coming to the court with no papers but only their laptops or iPad, and they turn it and read it, and then that is also a good thing. So I'm also of that opinion. Then scanners, some now things are immediately you can produce something, and you can scan through it and give it to them. And so I think technology has played a good thing, and I'm enjoying the fruits of technology. Though I can't say that I'm completely tech savvy, but I have no resistance to it, but I love it.
Lovely, lovely, Mr. Gopalakrishnan. Thank you so much. Sadly, we are coming to an end of this amazing conversation. But before I let you go, just wanted to know, how do you manage your time? Like, as a lawyer, how do you ensure that you're making the best of the time? As we all know that time is money in any profession.
Yeah,
So
time is money. I agree. Time is money is that managing the time now has become in this digital era a bit easy, I would say, because 90% of the time I don't like to have a conversation on a physical basis with any client who wants to come, because today also somebody wants to come, and they are also happy. I'm also happy that we can have a virtual conference, so that virtual conference has I mean, we can curtail the time limit, and then
of
we can
course.
come to the point, and that comes to a good thing. And otherwise, managing the time means, see, as I said, I began with saying that certain things are there in my bucket list. Let
Mm-hmm.
me tell you that some passions are there. So that
Okay.
passions have been always, say, as a first few years I was an advocate, and then I got into a job, and then I have to prove myself, or I was I mean, I'm in the race. I can't just say that I'm not in the race. So I was in the race, and therefore that time certain passions are there which you cannot enjoy. But today, with this virtual hearing and virtual mode, I find a lot of time for that, and I manage the time, and I give a specific slotted time for the clients through virtual meetings. And if somebody wants to come, I'm not saying no, don't come, but I do enjoy that, and they come here. And therefore, then immediately when the virtual hearing starts, they also know that he has to be uh, stand, or he should sit in front of a laptop for virtual hearings. And therefore, the managing time has become easy. And one more thing is that you have access to your work even when you are away, because that also is a good thing. For example, for a family function, I need to travel somewhere. Means, if I was in a physical hearing, I can't do that. Then I have to engage somebody else and say that I will have 2 3 hearings, you please look after this because I have to go somewhere. Today it is not so. I can manage the time. All I need is to take my laptop, and then while the entire thing is over, I can sit in a corner where only internet access is there, and I can enjoy it. So I think for me, it's a blessing in disguise. For many people, it is a blessing in disguise. So
Of course.
and now I've started to slowly creep into my bucket list and to start doing something. So this is
Mhm.
how I manage the time. And in fact, to cut short, I would say that this virtual platform and the digital platform has given more freedom to manage your time. You are at your own. You are your own boss, and you are by the click of a button you can manage your time rather than going somewhere and getting stuck there, and all these things are there. So I feel interaction has become much more easier. Yes, I'm not saying that in a human race and tendency, a human race has to have physical meetings. I'm not saying, otherwise it may sound a little paradoxical or contradictory when I say that I don't believe that education should be online, whereas I believe court hearings can be online, but I don't believe education can be online, because if education online classes are there, what happens is, the development of the child or the development is not happening. You meet somebody, you exchange ideas, that's not happening here, because you are a matter of fact, you ask questions, I answer, and you hear something, that's it. But there it is not that. Certain circumstances come, certain situations are created, and that creation will make you develop. So I think physical meeting is also necessary, but both have pros and cons. That is what I'd say.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Gopalakrishnan, for an amazing conversation and sharing the best of insights. It was always a pleasure talking to you, always a pleasure meeting you, and we're really looking forward to, many more conversations like this. Uh, so thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you once again. And for
Thank
our
you.
viewers, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I think, I was able to put forth my this thing, but time was a little short, but still,
Absolutely.
I was able to do that. And thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to this. And
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And for our viewers, if you like this chat with Mr. Gopalakrishnan, please like and share this video, and do not forget to subscribe to Click Away Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming from industry legal leaders like Mr. Gopalakrishnan. This is Bharti for LexTalk signing off. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.